Hey everyone, George here, and welcome back to the channel. If you've ever had electric blue Acara and you've lost them, one of the reasons might be because of temperature. Now, this is something I should have known when I set this particular aquarium up here, probably a month or two ago, and changed it from the original. If anyone's wondering which one of these aquariums this is typically the backdrop in my videos. As you can see, it's very different than what you've seen before because I have changed things. But getting back to what I was originally talking about here, is you can see these electric blue Acara here. One of the things that was happening is I was losing a fish every 3 or 4 days. I started out with 11 of these guys. I'm down to 7. So that's 4 fish that I lost. These are not horribly expensive fish, but they're certainly not cheap. And, you know, the life of a fish is important to me regardless of the cost of the fish. So I want to talk about this a little bit before we do any more videos on these guys, because I think it's important that anyone who's following me and is thinking about getting electric blue Acara, that you understand that temperature makes a huge difference. Now let me explain to you what happened with me. Now, this tank here was a holding tank for a lot of my smaller discus. In other words, a tank that was basically a quarantine tank and a grow out tank for 2.5 to 3.5, I would guess, small discus fish. I would keep 6 or 7 of them in here at a time, grow them out, move them on to other tanks. Got a little tired of that because I ended up with way more discus fish than I wanted. And so basically what I wanted to do is for my upcoming podcast, I wanted to make this backdrop different, interesting, and look nice, you know, for the backdrop of that new podcast. So putting the electric blue Acaras in here was something that I kind of decided to do last minute. I was going to go with some African cichlids, and just did not like the look of that kind of tank, because as you know, if you're a hobbyist and you have worked with African cichlids, you know that there are, you know, most of them pretty hard on plants and that kind of thing, and it's a very different look than what I was looking for a backdrop. So the electric blue Acaras just happened to be a fish that I noticed in one of my friend's stores recently, and so I thought, you know, I think I'm going to try those guys. Well, one of the things that I overlooked, and this is a rookie mistake that I made that I should have never made, so I'm learning just like everyone else, and that mistake was not turning the temperature down. This tank was about at 86 degrees. Electric blue Acaras cannot handle that heat. They just cannot handle that heat. They will appear to be okay at first as you acclimate them, but over a week or two, you'll start seeing them dropping off because the temperature is just way too high. These guys really need to be no higher than 82 degrees at the very highest, and more like 79 degrees to keep them healthy and happy in the tank. Since I dropped that temperature, didn't do anything else to this tank, but since I dropped that temperature down, I have had absolutely no losses, and these guys have been much more active and willing to come out. They're a little bit of a shy fish to begin with when you first put them in your tank, but once they get to know you and they know that you're their food source and that sort of thing, they're just like any other fish. They will come looking for you when you come to the tank. But I noticed if the heat is too high, and again, this was a mistake on my part that I absolutely should have known better than to allow that temperature to be that high. just basically a rookie mistake. Again, I'm learning just like all of you guys about these fish, and fish that I have not kept before. You get used to getting into the mode of possibly discus and things like that are at the higher end of temperatures, and you will notice that some fish just cannot handle that, obviously, and that's a bad on my part, simply because I should have known to look at the temperature in here. I did a lot of research on these fish. I knew the temperature that they thrived in. I knew all of that. I knew the pH. I knew the environment that they thrived in. Got all of that right. Missed the temperature thing. So I want you guys to know that if you are keeping electric blue Acaras, make sure that you check the temperature in your tank. Keep it between 79 and 82 degrees, and these guys will be extremely happy in a tank that size. Now there's 7 of them in here. Some of them are still a little bit shy and don't come out. Others don't care if I'm here and will, obviously beg for food and try to eat as much as they possibly can. But the bottom line is that they are out more, and they are much more friendly, much more active when the temperature is in that 79 to 82 degree range. And that's just a learning curve on my part. And I wanted to share that with you guys so that I'm honest with you. I try to be honest with you about everything that happens, regardless of whether or not I do something stupid or I do something, that's amazing. Both have consequences to them, and the consequences here are that I lost a few fish, 4 to be exact, and unfortunately, it was a learning thing, and by learning that, I know a lot more about these fish. They're happy. Everything's happy and healthy in this tank now. And I hope that anyone who's following me will understand that I'm not perfect. I make mistakes still. We are always, always, always learning in this hobby. And that's something we all have to accept, that we're not ever going to know everything, especially when we're changing species of fish around in a tank, something we've never worked with before. It can happen. So we want to make sure that when we're changing a tank around and we're putting new fish in, that we are absolutely making sure that we have covered every little step, regardless of how insignificant it may seem or how easy it is to pass over. What I've done is I've kind of put together a little list of things to check now when I'm doing a tank and I'm putting a different species in, and do a little checklist now to make sure that cannot happen again, because it's a sad thing to watch fish die that died unnecessarily because you personally made a mistake. So having said that, I'm going to let you go here. We'll see you on the next video. Got some fun stuff coming up, but I wanted to share that with you simply because I wanted to be honest with you about my experience here, so that if you get into that situation, you will know also what to do about it, and to know that these fish, just like any other, have certain specifications that they need and certain environment that they need in order to thrive. We will see you on the next one. Until then, we're out of here.